Greetings, my fellow monkeys, apes, and simians. This is a blanket reply to HonestDiscussioner's video, Questioning Faith, and to several of the video's comments. Thank you, Hallcyon, for implying that I should contribute my opinions to the conversation. Something we often want to ask the religious is, what color are the trees in your world? A facetious and rhetorical question, true, but still apt in its metaphor for good reasons. Belief systems are the structure, the paradigm. Faith is the binding contract, the commitment to that structure. Re-ligio, a return to the binding, is somewhat synonymous with faith, because following the guidelines of the structure and reaffirming vows and practicing its rituals is like signing of a contract that you will vary as little from those guidelines as you are able to. The Grokking of Paradigms should be an inseparable subject from rational discussions on faith, for without the paradigm there is nothing to have faith in. All humans have paradigms, no doubt as an inheritance from our rodent ancestors who had to have a roadmap in their minds of their warrens to navigate in complete dark. It is the vital essence of the human talent of pseudo-prescience. In the virtual world of the mind, a paradigm memory can be pictured as a lattice, laid down in a four-dimensional grid by the ritual-induced repetition of potential scenarios. The biological computation of a paradigm, instantly accessible in aid in navigating one's life, is directed to dwell on any virtual location time dependent upon the sensory inputs, and to write new potential scenarios based on the neurological composite of the ritual library. Many religious paradigms are exclusionary by design, and they hearken back to the rodent in his maze. How many times have you heard the phrase, "When all else fails, I still have God"? For a person whose paradigm is an exclusionary religion, they are perceiving that statement as the truth, because they have mentally cornered themselves into perceiving an absence of choice. For them, the notion of having options in faith is unfathomable. Those of us who have essentially rewritten our Kobayashi Maru lives find it easy to question the validity of the contract. We may not be willing to comprehend what it was that we ourselves overcame when the stinging memories of our ignorance haunts the recollection of what we did. New scenarios have to be written into the lattice before the contract that forbids such things can be understood as null and void, a catch-22. There is some justification in the old cliche that atheism can be commonly begun by some life trauma. So can a sudden growth in religious faith. Why? Because both are instances of an extreme paradigm shift. Imagine everything you thought you knew suddenly crumbling to dust. It is that fear of one's soul paradigm crumbling, that realization that one's theology is no more than a house of cards, assumption based upon assumption based upon assumption, that keeps a person locked into the practices and beliefs of a religion. The rituals of simultaneously harping on the idiocy of other religions as misguided paths of godly pursuit, yet using them as an example of a persistent evidence of the universality in their declaration of deity, is the basis of the denial mechanism, or denialism. It literally does not compute that there can be anyone whose paradigm could not include and even embrace their idea of a god. The religious person's house of cards is founded on the paradigm of a belief structure, the reinforcement of communal and personal rituals, the rationalizing of fear-driven denialism, and faith, the socially binding contract of personal honor, all peppered with emotional extortion and sweetened with emotional bribery. Questioning faith alone could tip the balance for some, but the trauma of a paradigm shift usually requires that a broom be taken to the entire deck, accompanied by a favorable exposure to reality, before the fantasy land of religion can be let go of. I hope this reply has been helpful to anyone at all. This is DonQuixotedeKaw, asking you to enjoy your life, the only thing not borrowed from those yet to be.